Greetings everyone, my name is Zetterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 6 viewer-submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 4 or 5 more viewer-submitted levels, starting out with this one, Wily's Revenge Fortress 2 by SonicBioniclemaster, with 14 plays and a score -2. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. A secret to the left. We start with a full arsenal of special weapons. Gonna be a bit of a tighter jump. Pretty easy one to pull off, actually. And as the title suggests, this is the second level in this series of the Wily Revenge Fortress stages by this author. And I should be using my special weapons more. Thankfully there was no bottomless pit over here. I see. Pretty easy to get E-Tank over here. But you only got 1 or 2 shots on that. Some sand underwater. Good checkpoint placement. In comparison with the first section, this was easier. You could place the checkpoint later, it just feels a bit overly generous, at least for now. Then again, we do have a spike jumping segment, so it makes sense to put it at the beginning of the segment. Especially with this kind of jump. Slow and steady wins the race, and thank you for putting a checkpoint right after that section. I can see that section being hard if you're not used to how the water physics work. Oh, that was bad. Plus, I don't have any mobility enhancement options. No utilities or special weapons like the NATO or the charge kick. I'm gonna have to do a precise slide jump off the edge. There we go. Would have preferred if it was 1 block to the left. Could be worse. It could have been just before another checkpoint. So far so good. Now we have a vertical segment. Combine usage of the tellies, the gyro blocks, and the flipping platforms from Plantman's level. Of course, it's already assumed you understand how these gimmicks work, as this is a fortress stage, but we still have a difficulty curve, a proper one. The micro-stutters are not helping matters though. Because something like this can happen, and because there's no safety net below you, you can end up falling several screens below into a bottomless pit. To be fair, at least the tellies aren't too of an annoying enemy to deal with. Is there something down here? Nope. Just wanted to ensure there was no secrets, as a few levels I played did play secrets below pits like this, and there's no Fate of Black, so you can't be sure it's not a bottomless pit. Effectively a mini-boss room with all these gachapons, the wall blasters, and the picados. On to the second half of the stage. I think this is a submarine base, as we're exiting and entering the water several times. We started above ground in the jungle, and now we entered the submarine base. In between, of course, we jumped into the water. It's just for an M-tank. Sure, I'll go for it, it's pretty easy. All the M-tanks in this stage are pretty easy to get, outside the third one though. That one was a challenging one. Glad to see there are several of these secrets around the place. The stage is very pleasant to go through. Outside that spike run and that vertical shaft segment, the stage is not that difficult. The difficulty curve could use some work because the shaft segment could be placed near the end of the stage. Because that was the hardest part of the stage, if you were to ask me. Nevertheless, we fight Bubble Man now. And I suppose the boss door to the right leads to the entrance of the third stage in this series. Guess he doesn't have a weakness. Not much of a problem. This is a on-par stage, I say. A bit forgettable, but not frustrating at all. I don't know why this got a negative score. Maybe outside of the vertical segment and the horizontal segment with all the spikes, that's probably why. Otherwise, it wasn't really frustrating. It was okay. Second level on the lineup is Edge Fest Frenzy version 2 by OfficialMemeGuy, with 12 plays and a score of 5. Nope indeed. Normally I'd complain about jerkish placement of bottomless pits, but that was for a trollish joke, so I'll overlook it. Plus we have infinite lives in this engine, so it isn't too bad. I'd complain about that more if I was going through a challenge mode though. Nice introduction to the Scarecrow, the Dokron, the Blackout Blocks, as well as the Crushers, or rather presses. Gradually incrementing the challenge now with spikes. And placing the Dokrons in a more hazardous environment. Nice Nice way of showing what's upcoming in the stage. We even started with 3 special weapons. Rather generous checkpoint placement if you were to ask me, but alright then. Nice introduction to the Mamiras. First in a place where they cannot harm you whatsoever. So you can see how they attack you. Now in a place where they can attack you. Sadly, no secrets up on this tree. Oh. Rats. The spike hitbox is notably bigger than the actual graphic. It's only a few screens away though, so not much of a loss. Nice escalation of challenges combining usage of the blackout blocks and presses. Of course, you can always use damage boost, as such here. That small energy on the right was a trap, trying to lure you into the spike. Overall, this was a rather solid traditional level. Nice challenge progression and nice introduction of gimmicks. Okay, can only use special weapons. Fair enough, because we have an infinite weapon respawner. His weakness is also the danger wrap, I think. Yet I still get hit, so I'm doing a terrible job dodging. Well, I don't think OfficialMemeGuy expected that to happen. He just clipped off screen and fell into the pit, or descended into the pit. 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I'd like the stage to go for a bit longer, maybe 10 screens long, but as it stands right now, this is the same length as a traditional level would be. Third level on the lineup is Just a Mix stage by NightCurseX, with 28 plays and a score of 7. It seems that this level is going to be a bit longer, probably 50 to 60 screens long. Once again, on this intro crawl, I would love to see the estimated number of screens every stage has, so I can better estimate how long it'll take to complete. I know it won't be accurate for Metroidvania levels, or levels with a lot of alternate pathways, but most of the levels submitted to the Mega Man Maker servers are usually traditional Fortress levels, which don't have that many optional pathways. Starting out in the Icy Tundra with these Dock Roaches and the Slinky enemies. Ice physics over there almost pushed me off screen. To be fair, you can skip these challenges by using the Charge Kick or Item 1. Yet, these are perfectly doable Buster only. Good checkpoint placement. I was expecting one of these pop-up attackers to appear. The gaps look really suspicious. Is it just me, or do the wild coil springs actually just one-shot those slinky enemies? They also seem to be pretty effective against the duck roach nests. This is a background from Slashman's stage. Haven't seen this one before. Introducing the Plantman flippers over a hazardous environment. I would have preferred if it was in a safer environment first. Power adapter time. As well as jet adapter. Onto the rush jet. This stage feels like a fortress stage because it expects you to know how to use these special weapons as well as many of these gimmicks and enemies. Same with the jet bombs. Never mind, it actually takes 3 shots to destroy those slinky enemies with the wild coil. I thought it only 1 shot or 2 shot them with the regular springs. Oh, I understand. When the stage title said just a mix stage, we're mixing and matching assets from each of the Mega Man 7 stages. We first had Springman stage maybe, then we had Slashman stage, now we have Burstman stage. So are we gonna have one of each for each of the 8 Roadmasters? You get plenty of time there. I was worried it was going to be pretty fast. On to Cloudman. It seems we'll get one of each then. That's why the stage is so long. Or why it took so long to load, I mean. knew this was gonna come. After all, they originated from this stage. Bit of an odd scrolling there, we're repeating the same background. On to Turbo Man. 3 left to go, I think. Unlike Mega Man 7, the charge shot is a lot more useful here. It's a Mega Man 5 charge shot, and it still deals 3 points of damage instead of the 2 points of damage from Mega Man 7. I will eventually LP Mega Man 7 on this channel, but I will be using a ROM hack that buffs up the charge shot, speeds up the charging, as well as a few other minor fixes. Every time there's a pooker, or almost every time there's pooker, there's oil and oil fires. And fire type enemies. Shademan segment. Thank you for putting a checkpoint at the beginning of every section. There doesn't seem to be a checkpoint in the middle of each section, as they're half the length of the original stages. Yoku blocks. Never mind, item 1. Springman. So that earlier segment wasn't Springman, it was Junkman? Maybe? Now you have the Yoku Block segment. Well, this is different. Oh, that's why. We're at the end of the stage and I'm dead. Thank you, Spike Placement and my unlucky drop. So, the first 3 sections I already went through, but I forgot to identify them. This time, go to the right of the room. Well, okay, didn't expect you could do that. And as long as you keep one of those springs alive, he'll never jump into the air and do that long reach attack. Overall, this was a fun level. A bit of a longer one, but I did like the mini remixes of every stage from Mega Man 7. Every Roadmaster stage, that is. However, because of some of the missing enemy and gimmick assets, some of the recreations weren't as good as some of the other ones. 4th level on the lineup is Bunker of Challenge Part 2 by Cynical, AI, and Mabrick, with 7 plays and a score of 0. Mabrick sent me an NSF file placement, so I will be silent for the first minute of this stage. As you saw at the beginning of this stage, I started to the right of the end of Bunker Challenge Part 1, and I started with the same utilities and special weapons as Part 1. Pretty easy quicksand section, but now a more difficult one. I believe that was there to introduce you to the challenge. For this stage, the toughest enemies to deal with are, in my opinion, the Screw Bombers as well as the Harry Harrys, mainly due to their placements. So far, I'd say that this stage is easier than Part 1. It has a unique identity, but it still feels a bit easier. Less instant death hazards, I'd say. More enemy-based challenges. Though the quicksand does obscure the enemies, that's the hard part. Nevertheless, that was the end of the stage. Pretty fun level. I'd say that this is currently my favorite level of the parts so far. Up there with Edge Fest Frenzy as being the honorable mention. Great difficulty curve, nice unique gimmicks, and an interesting identity. It feels like a great Fortress stage. And the music does fit. And the quicksand does make the boss fight a bit harder. Because you can't exactly see where Sparkman is. Or rather, when he'll decide to throw off his final giant spark shot. You can't easily see when that's gonna happen. So it definitely gets a thumbs up by me. And for any future level designers who want to submit their levels to me, feel free to send NSF file replacements. I'll always appreciate them. Not to mention graphical mods if you have the skill for that. 5th level on the lineup is From Cave to Space by Croby, with 14 plays and a score of -3. This seems to be a longer level as well, so this will likely be the last level I'll cover in this part. Starting out with almost all the special weapons, excluding 4 of them. Aw, rats. Plus, I do want to get that thing. The tank, I mean. Not the best start, but this works. Let's get the brick drop out. Can't reach it. Well, that's not good. I can still damage boost though, so let's do that. Only problem are those types of enemies. And got ambushed by those Sabiels. To the left then. We do get an E-tank, so let's do this. Plus a full life and weapon energy refiller. Where's the first checkpoint? I'd love to see where it is. Hopefully this does not go horribly wrong. Okay, that was a lot easier than I expected. Okay, oil slider, I think. The placement of several of these enemies mean that they're a bit harder to dodge. But thank you for the first checkpoint. So we've exited out of the cave and now we're in the great outdoors. Okay, I'm going down then. I thought I was supposed to go to the right. I thought this was just a bottomless pit. Rats. Yep, I undershot it there. Should have damage boosted. I'll just consume an E-tank just to be safe. There is probably a goodie in here, it just looks awfully suspicious. A large life energy and... okay. I'm being silent here because I have to be super cautious with all the enemies around. I wish I had a more shotgun-based weapon like the Firestorm, the air shooter, etc, etc. And I wish they were better organized. At least the game is being more kind with its drops. That doesn't usually happen. Let's take the lower route. There is one more special weapon to collect. It's just a weapon respawner. Well, I do need the extra weapons, so I will take it. That was an odd clip over there. That happened earlier after the first checkpoint too. We're finally getting to space. I think we're in space or low orbit. I wish I had this weapon earlier in the stage. That would have been super helpful. Ambushed by that and a Yafu. Okay, this is a neat challenge, although it's made pretty easy if you rush past it. Oh. Whoops. I need to set them ablaze first, this time. Of course, I can just skip it that way. Two choices. Wild Coil. That previous segment would be a lot more scary if I didn't have access to so many flight utilities. GG, thank you. Just need to climb upwards into the space station. It feels the way the weapons are organized is a bit random. I would prefer if the utilities were all placed at the end instead of in the middle. But in comparison with Croby's previous stage, my first cloudy level, this is better, though it does have more enemy spam problems. Not sure why we need to solve the puzzle that way. But I guess this is it. This is where we'll face the boss. That's it. That was the end of Cave to Space. A rather long level, but I did like the different sections. We first had the cave section, the forest section, the waterfall section, the landing section, then the lower orbit section, then finally the space section. I can understand why the stage got a negative score because of the enemy spam issues. Because of how the enemies are placed, many of them are undodgeable unless you're really careful and you use special weapons. But special weapons and utilities are required in order to complete the stage, so I don't mind it as much. though I think you need to collect at least one of the special weapons, aka the Noise Crush or another one, or the Oil Slide in order to complete the stage, otherwise you get soft locked, if I recall correctly. Please correct me, viewers, in the comment section below, if you do need one of those in order to collect the first key. So overall, out of the 5 levels I covered in this part, my favorite level would definitely be Bunker of Challenge Part 2 by Marine Crags and Mabrick, with an honorable mention going to Edge Fest Frenzy version 2 by OfficialMemeGuy. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more Veersmith levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!